Tell me when?
When?
Hey, I'm Jaimi Faulkner from Australia, and you're watching Toasted. Look at my worn out shoes. The pavement is my dance floor, and I'm carving up these Sunday blues.
Jaimi, welcome to Amsterdam.
Thank you very much.
This is like your second or third or fourth home base, I guess, right?
Yeah, it kind of feels
you
like
have
that.
many, right?
Yeah, it's interesting as a muso. You kind of have these little hubs all over the world where you can go and hang out, and you've got friends in the city. And Amsterdam has definitely become one of those places for me. Yeah.
Because you're an Australian guy living in Berlin, releasing his fourth album, studio album, in Amsterdam.
That's right. That's right. I think I might have released the last record here as well. It seems to be a running theme with me. But of course, it's such a beautiful place to play, and the Paradiso is legendary, of course.
The question is, of course, why did you leave Australia to make music in Europe?
It was a bit of a natural progression, really. I'd been touring all around Australia for many years and doing the same kind of circuit. It's a big country, but you know, there's not a terrible amount of places to play, so you kind of find yourself playing the same circuit over and over again. And then I thought, hey, I'll give it a try over in Europe, and had such a nice time and such a great response from the audiences that I played to, that I thought, you know what, I'm going to come and live here for 6 months and see how it goes, and 5 years later I'm still here.
Where did you start off?
That's a good question. I think the first concert I played might have been in Dortmund in Germany.
Shit.
And it was very just kind of spontaneous tour the first time I came in. I was just trying to pick up gigs as I went along, and then I think I chanced upon meeting a couple of booking agents, one that was based here in the Netherlands, one in Germany, and that made things sort of speed up quite quickly, and within a year I was off and running and doing a lot of concerts every year. So high above the tallest walls, look on out past urban sprawl, mist covering that winter morning.
Your new record, Up All Night, you released it tonight. You recorded it with the producer for Crow, and for those who don't know, Crow is a legendary hip-hop artist from Germany. He's massive there. Not a logical combination.
Totally illogical. It was one of these weird things where I was messing around with my German. You know, I live in Germany, so I try to integrate as best as I can, learn a little bit of the language. And one day I thought, you know, I keep hearing this song while I'm touring on the radio, and it would be nice to know what he's singing about. So I translated it into English, and then I thought, you know, I might just upload it onto YouTube. And then the producer of the song heard the cover version, and so did Crow and their management and all that kind of stuff, and they reposted it. But I got to meet the producer, and we sat down one afternoon, and I was just playing him a whole bunch of demos that I've been working on, and he was like, you know, what do you reckon? Should we make an album together? And I kind of like the idea of trying something a little wacky and left of center. So I was all for it, and yeah, his initial thing was, the demos, they're pretty sort of sunny sounding, and we should head somewhere, you know, get away from Germany where it tends to be a little grey sometimes. And so we head all the way down to Motril, basically near Malaga in Spain.
Beautiful.
And yeah, we spent 2 weeks with the band in this little villa with a recording studio, and made the record, yeah, in 2 weeks, and it was a really cool experience. You give me a reason, and I'll chase the seasons, whatever it takes. I'm coming your way. I'm done with daydreaming. You better believe it, whatever it takes. I'm coming your way.
You had all these uplifting songs, and your producer picked them out and said, well, we're going to make this uplifting record.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of makes sense, really. There's a couple of tracks on the record that are a little bit more introspective, and songs that are written from, you know, other people's perspectives. The title track, Up All Night, as an example, and It Ain't Easy, which is another kind of low tempo track that deals with some pretty heavy issues. But on the whole, it's a pretty kind of happy and uplifting record. And so to be sitting in the sunshine every day, kind of made sense. And to be honest, some days it was pretty hard to go into the studio. You know, we had this wonderful pool next to us, and sun was shining, and the weather was perfect. And
But it wasn't all sunshine. I mean, the drummer got sick, right?
yeah, there was. I mean, with every record, there always seems to be something that goes wrong. But yeah, I don't like to dwell on that. I mean, our drummer got sick on day 2 before we'd even recorded a note. So we found ourselves, I think, at 3 o'clock in the morning at the hospital in Montreal. You know, no one spoke Spanish very well, and they certainly didn't speak Dutch. My band's Dutch or German or English. So you know, it was a big sort of pantomime trying to explain what was going on. And you know, he was in there for a couple of days, and we pulled him out. He was cool after a couple.
You started off as a blues guy, right?
Yeah, I mean, I did win an award in Australia, Blues Performer of the Year, and I mean that was part of the whole process that got me over here to Europe. To win that award, I was given a free ticket with my band to go to Memphis to play.
You always played with the band?
In Australia, I did a lot, and playing as a solo musician only kind of came into practice after I'd been on the road a little bit and moved here by myself, and out of necessity had to play a lot more by myself. And yeah, I grew to love it. I really grew to love it, and it's become, I would say, 75% of what I do now. I'm mostly on the road by myself, and when we, you know, release an album or do something that's a little bit more special, I take the band on the road with me.
Hey, I like your lyrics. Are they autobiographical?
Yeah, some of them are. On this record, there's a couple of tracks that aren't. The songs I mentioned before, It Ain't Easy and Up All Night, are not autobiographical. I'd been sort of watching a lot of sort of late night political shows, political satire shows, and becoming more dismayed at the kind of growing, I guess, divide between that 1% of incredibly wealthy people and this huge pool of people at the bottom who were struggling to get by, and really affected me. And I wanted to write some songs that kind of dealt with that issue or explored that issue on the record. The song It Ain't Easy I wrote after watching an interview with a homeless man from Chicago, and he was talking about what it was like to live on the streets, and what it was like to be out there every day asking people for money, and how that had sort of changed him as a person, and how people viewed him on the streets every day, and how people sort of looked through him and would treat him with a lot of disdain almost. And yeah, that was a quite confronting documentary, and quite powerful in many respects, and it really stayed with me for days. And I kind of thought, you know, I should write something from his perspective. And so I watched that documentary over and over again, and really picked up on some key phrases that he was saying, and I tried to incorporate them in the tune, and write from his eyes, you know. In Amsterdam, I got sky high. I drank too many beers in Brussels, and I nearly missed my flight.
Hey, another song that I liked, I'm Coming Home. I asked you if you could play it for us. I like it because you mentioned so many things. I mean, it's not just about coming home, it's also like a small travel report. I mean,
Sure.
did you get sky high in Amsterdam?
Yeah, maybe I did. Maybe
Okay,
I did, at some point,
did you drink too many beers?
Yeah.
In Brussels you did?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's a bit of a fun song, you know. I travel so much, and it's kind of, yeah, it's like you say, it's a little postcard tour of some of the places I've been, and some of the small snippets of things that have happened throughout.
Did you actually buy a guitar in Tennessee?
Yeah, I did. When I was doing the International Blues Challenge, and I was awarded that trip, we had to play at a festival, and I thought, you know, I could bring a guitar with me, or I could try to find one in 1.5 days, which was a little stressful. But we went to shitloads of records, of music stores, and then, of course, as is always the case, one popped off the wall, and I was like, that one.
Cool.
So it was a beautiful Fender custom shop Telecaster that I bought in Memphis, Tennessee. So yeah.
Do you have a scar from Vietnam?
I do. I got a scar on my elbow here from when I think they're called tuk-tuk drivers. He said, "Man, jump in and have a go." And I was traveling with this German guy, and he was driving, and we tipped the thing, which the guy found absolutely hilarious. But we were a little bit sore and bruised and banged up afterwards. So yeah, it's all true.
Oh, I'm coming home. Been away too long. When every city's missing some, then you know it's time to go. I'm coming home. The whole wide world I've roamed, walked the streets of Tokyo, and now I'm coming home.
Of course, you teamed up with Sarah Bettens, that we know from Belgium. How did that come about?
We were sort of in contact a little bit over email, and I was looking at doing a lot of co-writing with different artists on this record. And yeah, I was co-writing with a lot of different people, and I really wanted to do one with Sarah. So we caught up in Belgium as we were sort of crossing paths. We're both on tour, and we had a window of 2.5 hours to get together and write a song. And again, another guitar story. I just bought this beautiful 1967 Gibson guitar. And the first thing I did was to show Sarah the guitar that I was super excited about. And just out of nowhere, this kind of riff came out, and it's something clicked, and we just wrote this song in about an hour and a half. Sometimes it just works. It's really, really interesting. We both clicked as people and as songwriters, and we kind of threw this song out. Kind of came out of nowhere, and yeah, it's a really beautiful song, and she's just a ridiculously wonderful singer, and it was really lovely to get to work with her as well.
I guess there's nothing wrong with swallowing my pride, 'cause I know I can be so hard-headed at times.
I imagine listening to your album on vinyl is an experience in itself. I really do think it is a vinyl record.
Yeah, well, it's the first record I've put on vinyl, and I remember getting the ring on the doorbell and the test pressing arriving, and I was, stupidly excited.
Yeah.
And ripping open the packet and like getting it out and having a look at it, and it's just it's super cool to be holding your own vinyl in your hands, and of course putting it on my record player, and off it goes, and it sounds really, really, really super nice. So I'm really, really happy to have it.
Hey, what's happening for you now? Because I mean, you probably play shitloads of gigs right now. You'll be touring all summer. Or?
Yeah, obviously we're on a tour now. Until
you're with the band, right?
Yeah, this is the band section of the tour. I've just been touring for the last 3.5 weeks throughout Europe, doing what I've called a up all night solo warm-up tour. So playing a lot of smaller clubs in regional places in Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. And now I'm off for basically till April the 3rd with the band, and we're playing in Luxembourg, Belgium, Netherlands, Switzerland, Germany. And then I'm taking a couple of weeks off, heading to China.
No shit.
Just to take a little break, recharge the batteries, and then summer festivals and things like that. And then I'll be back out again from middle of September until the end of November, basically.
Oh, man.
But yeah, it's a full year. It's an album release year, so there's always a lot going on, and yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Where is your home actually? Is it Australia or is it Europe?
It's Europe, yeah. It's Europe, yeah. Which is interesting to be able to say that now, that it's definitely home.
Hey, thanks so much, man. One more question. The video for "Wake Me Up."
Yeah.
It's shot in Holland. It's in on the coast near Holland.
Yeah.
Is that your band actually featuring in the video?
Yeah, absolutely. They're my band, but they're also like incredibly good friends of mine, and we have a lot of fun when we're on the road. And for the music video, I thought, let's not go crazy and do a super big production, but let's just head out and do a road trip throughout the Netherlands. It was a beautiful day like this, and ended up at is it Wijk aan Zee, and
Legendary surf spot.
Yeah, so we kind of hung out there and drank some beers on the beach and tried a bit of wakeboarding. I hit the dirt a few times.
It was you falling there?
Yeah, man. I'm an Australian. I should be able to surf, but it's not my forte. I spend too much time playing guitar.
Whatever it takes, I'll be I'll be coming your way. Whatever it takes, I'm coming your way.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Awesome. Good song.